This is the Miracle Perspective. Welcome back, everybody. I always appreciate your loyalty. You know that by now. And today, I'm doing something really special with someone really special. Still on the series of personal development, the relevance of personal development in this day and age. And you saw in the previous videos, I was interviewing business women and powerful people who are already established in their positioning in the marketplace. And today I realized that this young man that I know, man, I met this young man in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And this man is moving. It's been moving since I met him and it's still moving. And I realized it would be very interesting to go and give him a shout and just say, my man, how you doing? And can you tell us a bit more about what you're doing and what motivates you? And today I'm talking to Tato Mafukwane. Boy, you're welcome.
Miracle making.
Yes, sir. How's it?
I'm well. I'm good. It's been a long day, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there. You move.
Man, I met this young man, and let me just give you a brief background of how I met this guy. We're at Mamelodi Initiative, where I was a tutor in 2015, as I said, and we had winter school.
Yeah, winter.
In the winter school, this guy was in the class that I was tutoring, and I saw that this is a bright young man. And after the program, we had to choose someone to mentor, and I chose this guy. I'm gonna be this guy because I saw that he had something really special in him, and I think we can go along together. And I told him that, hey man, I wanna be your mentor. He's like, hey man, I want you to be my mentor, and that's how we came, and
right.
we became this thing, man.
Yeah.
And here you are, my man. You're doing big stuff. Before I talk too much, it's not about me, it's about you, man. Can you just tell us, who are you?
Not to put the pressure on anybody. It's not big stuff. I think I'm really quite learning how to be humble with the progress and growth. But yeah, as he introduced me, my name is Tato Mafukwane. I'm from Nalimafias, currently 22. I am from a family of 4. I'm the 3rd sibling. And I'm a founder of Coffee and Cook. But before I get there for now, a little bit of my background. So I'm raised by a single parent who has been a vendor for roughly 36, 37 years now. And ideally my life has been school, back home, helping my mom prepare for the next day. So it's basically the things she prepares to salad work, right? So I got to be introduced into a little bit of entrepreneurship and running and maintaining ideally a business at a very young age. That's where I think my soft skills developed early in the kitchen, and I got introduced to a lot of things as well. So the financial literacy, the basic skills that are needed for maintaining a business. And my grade, I think that grade, I was already selling sweets at school. So it was like sweets, snacks, and I already had like this merchandise that was just going all over the place. Where I think also because I was in sports activities, and then I was in the leadership council, it was easier for me to sort of maintain everything, right? So I knew everybody who was delegated to sort of facilitate the errands of the businesses in their classes was everybody who was in either my team or in the leadership councils with me. So yeah, fast forward, growing into business, then you move on. Then I met you, then I met more people, and it's really been a challenging path rather, because for instance, I did not go to school and thought, okay, one day entrepreneurship, that's where I'm going to go. Obviously, at some point I was like, okay, an architect. And then there was a point I was like, no, probably a doctor. But then I was like, no, okay, this is not working. Well, I will see. And then time went on. I think high school, same things happened. A little bit of myself doing this, myself doing that, touching that. But there were rather key things that I really got to notice, especially when I was by myself. my commitment towards social development. So how I kept on volunteering into things, into organizations, my leadership ability when I was in A space. So my ability to sort of drive in change, to sort of drive in all these key players and making sure that nobody feels left out, to build one community and make sure that we move forward. I think it's one thing I learned from primary up until high school. And so I played rugby in primary. This is the story building up, right? So yeah, I played rugby in primary. I captained it.
How small it is.
Pardon? So yeah, it was rugby, cricket, and tennis. Captained them, but I loved rugby the most. And I was given an opportunity just after primary school to go and play, right, for a better sponsorship program, or for a better sponsored program. And I qualified for the rounds. It went well.
Hold on a little bit. The reason I'm allowing him to just keep moving, you understand? I asked him a simple question: who are you?
Yeah.
And he just went on a full story. And the reason why I'm quiet and I let him talk is because I want the younger generation to understand the journey of success, man. And his story already is profound, because you can see that is not a person who's just chilling down waiting for the government to do something. He's been doing things, involved in different organizations, different clubs, sports, and all these things that he's telling us. And I just want you to pay attention to the life, the history, where it's going, and look at the future. You being yourself right now, look at the possible future that's going to come out of this man. And we're going to talk about what he's doing currently, because he's talking entrepreneurship but didn't get deep into it. I want you to understand what he's doing now. So just finish up what you were just saying, so we can get to the next part.
So yeah, it was rugby, and then the better sponsorship I was just talking about now. And I pushed through the rounds. I qualified just up until the, I think, 3 last stages. And that's where I then did not qualify. So I couldn't go any further because, one, I was skinny and I didn't have any medical to cover me, since my mom was incapable of affording it, right? So I got pulled out. And it was sad because I was committed to that. Building up, obviously went into high school, better things. I tried other things, I pushed, was very active. Grade 11 failed. And I think that's when it hit me. Like, that's when I was like, okay, now there's something that I really need to do. Because I remember there was a point where we had to also do applications for university. And I was really just caught up into what's one thing that I'm taking? Like, what's one thing I'm certainly going to do and move forward with, you know? So, yeah, it was that. And I didn't apply for my grade 11. That's the year I failed, and then I repeated the next year. And I think that's when I met Mahlodi. And we spoke with Mahlodi. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And the thing about it was, I spoke about something. So I spoke about a business idea as though it's already happening, right? And she was like, okay, no, we'll talk more about this. And I was like, okay, cool. And interestingly, we kept on talking. And I think that's when the business initially developed into being profound and as vast as it is right now.
Tell us about the business you're talking about. What is this business? And when did it start?
Yeah.
Where are you now?
Okay.
And what is the possible future?
So yeah, like we've been saying, then I founded Coffee and Cook in 2017. It's really a slang for coffee and cakes. So basically, it's a company that incorporates different disabled individuals as well as the youth in the community. We do intake, training, upskilling, and outsourcing. And with regards to different disabled individuals, you're sort of trying to be the bridge between the isolation, discrimination, and the one narrated story that's really constantly posed on them, you know. And throughout that, we sort of take them, put them on the forefront line. That's where they get to interact with the customers. That's where they get to have a different idea of themselves, because then they feel welcome, they feel normal in a way to be within everybody else in the community, to just laugh around and to compensate wherever it's possible, which is one thing we've been living up to be a social enterprise that has more practical, more activities that benefit the community per se, as compared to just a company that would run in projections on a monthly basis.
What inspired that?
Okay. So if people were really concentrating, I touched a point where after my grade 7, where I had the sponsorship for rugby, right? I think just after I got disqualified, that's when it really hit me hard, right? It's one thing I looked forward to doing, but I sort of did not feel as welcome, and I was disqualified for something that I couldn't control, the circumstances, that is. So I sort of took that and thought, okay, it means there's a problem in the community, one, right? And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's entrepreneurship, the idea of businesses and how to run one and maintain one and sustain one and ensure that you grow one, right? And then I had two things that I know I can work on. I've identified the problem, and then I have identified what I'm good at. And I thought of myself, I was like, okay, so my mom has been running this ideal business from ever since I was young, and I used to help her. And it's been of waking up business and sustaining the family. So what if I bring the same system but at a larger scale? I start a business in the community that addresses the problem, but I don't want my problem to necessarily be unemployment, because then what's the goal when it gets overcrowded? I feel that, okay, I need something that would challenge the social status of the community that I stay in. Likely because even with myself being disregarded for the rugby sponsorship, I have a neighbor who stays just next door to me, right? He's orally impaired. And so growing up together has been not hard, but I think as kids initially, we sort of get to choose who we want to spend time with, and then we sort of have those who fall victims to be mobbed and so on. And then I figured, okay, now I have 4 things. I have one thing I'm good at. I have this person who I know can be a very good example for me to address the problem. I have a company that can run in the community. Now I need a skill, or I need something that can be of pull for subtraction. So I figured, okay, now if there's one thing I can do, it's bake, right? Anything with dough, I can do it. I'm pretty confident even now. So I figured, okay, why not start a bakery? Right? That was the initial idea, a bakery. I bake, I do sales. So it was just like that. It was plain, it was simple, bake, do sales. And with time, I got introduced to new things. I got introduced to new solutions. I think also because of the support structures that I have had along the way. There are people who came and they're like, bro, this one will work. Especially because you're trying to achieve this main goal. Then how are you sure that when you have a bakery, these people are being exposed, to the entire environment and community? So I was like, okay, let's sort of renovate the entire space and make it more of a diner, where people come by and they have to be served, and there's a little bit of entertainment, where we can host poetry sessions maybe. So it was like more of creating an eco-friendly space, where instead of people coming and buying and leaving, people have the choice to either come, chill in, and relax while eating their food. But then we sort of introduced something where, for instance, whenever you buy, you have to deal with directly with somebody who is impaired in a certain way. And when you deal with them, it's not a matter of you buying and leaving, or you buying and then they save you. That's it. You need to sort of create a conversation with them. So the more you try to be friendly towards them and talk to them, be more welcoming, we sort of give you coupons, So it's like the next time you come, you get, for instance, you get maybe fish and chips at 10 rand less, right? It wasn't affecting the initial finances of the business. So that's what we saved. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, no, this is working for us now. And then
so was that to motivate people to come back and to interact
yes.
with these people
yes.
In the forefront?
Yes, which worked, but after a very long time. Obviously, it failed a couple of times in the beginning.
Why?
Because it was new.
Yeah.
It was new. For instance, I came with an idea and I was like, okay, I'm starting a company. It's called Coffee and Cook. And people are like, what? What's that? And then over time I explained. The first person got it. The first person came, got the idea of what we're doing, left, came back with new people. And then over time it was like, oh, Coffee and Cook. And I think that's the idea. Anything that's new is very scary. And it's because nobody has ever sort of seen it or witnessed it before. So now everybody's sort of panicking. Do I go in and behave as normal, or do I go in on defense mode just in case something happens? And it's that also because we are in a community where not so much knowledge is brought in. So you try to bring these new things and everybody's like, okay, no, not our style. But yeah, the first couple of times it was very challenging.
So how do you choose the people who work?
How do I choose the people who work? No, that one is very simple. Okay, quick question. How do I choose the people who work in terms of
your employees?
The employees.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a structure that's placed, right? Then we decided two things for the youth in particular. So like, okay, it's either we work on people who are school dropouts, but you have to be a high school dropout. So we don't necessarily require you to have matric, right? So we're like, okay, either we're choosing high school dropouts or people who took a gap year, either due to financial circumstances for them to go to varsity or having to upgrade, either, right? And then for the different able individuals, it's not really a criteria, honestly, because we're trying to build an environment that welcomes everybody. So with that, at this point, we are working with people who we find it very comfortable to manage, right? And obviously, I think the more we grow, that's when we're going to sort of need maybe a social worker to sort of come and teach us and enlighten us about a few things, interactions. We went to the Department of Social Development before to sort of try and get more understanding of the rules and regulations, the legislatures around having different labeled individuals incorporated. So, like the manner in which they should work, under what circumstances should they work. So for the sake of their health and safety. Yeah.
So basically your business model, if I'm getting it correctly, is such that you are getting the people who are socially excluded to be part of this business.
To be part of the business.
Basically you are changing the mental framework or the narrative that is built around our society.
Yeah. Wow. Right. So that's like the first part of it. And then with the rest of the youth, it's more of, look, we will take you, we will train you, and training in terms of, look, this is how you would want to conduct yourself in a professional environment. This is how you would want to find yourself talking to the people around you and dealing with circumstances that are constantly brought up to you. This is how you get to develop yourself. So out of them, there's like a portion that we take with us to develop, to go volunteer outside, and then all that builds a criteria. Like the plan that we have in future is to sort of be incorporated with other bigger companies. So we sort of know that, okay, we do training and upskilling and intake for 3 years. And then when we outsource them, we certify them. And then when they go through to those bigger companies, that's where they sort of get to work, right? But it's under placement through Coffee and Cook. So we can be, in that way, we will be effectively capable of measuring our impact, measuring our success rate as well, and I think the growth overall, whether it's negative or positive.
So what's the challenge now to get you there?
Yeah.
What's
we are
missing?
we are at a point where we are financially looking to finish up the entire renovations outside. That's number one. Secondly, we are still working on the paperwork to make sure that it's as strong as possible and outlines what we need and what we do and how either the company, not either, but rather the company and us as the next company are going to benefit from both having these people being sent through.
Say there's someone listening to you and they're really interested in being involved in what you're doing, because I mean, already it's a phenomenal thing. It's very different to start off with. It's very new. It's unique.
Sure.
And I mean, the social development part of it is very unique as well. So if there's anybody out there who's also interested in this young man's brilliant idea and they want to help out, what type of help would you require?
I'm at a point where I require more mentorship and a person who can introduce me to spaces, and I'll tell you why. For instance, when I started the business at the beginning, I remember talking to somebody and they asked me, how much do you need? I was like, nah, I think I need 100K. And they were like, nah, it's impossible. Go back to your books, go do your fundraisings, go make researches, go find out as much info as you can. And I did a little bit of it and I came back and I was like, okay, I need 200K. And they were like, okay, cool, we'll talk. Came back we spoke around May. I think the last time I spoke to him was around September, August, September. And he came back and I was like, how much do you need now? I was like, no, I pushed. I think I need 70K. And I was like, okay, we'll talk. He came back and then sometime when we were talking on WhatsApp, I think I told him I need 25K, something like that. I can't keep a strict record. And one thing I learned is no matter how much money you are given, at some point it becomes not as pure useful as having acquired the skill right now. And I met somebody on the other side who introduced me to a couple of people who I got to network, who I got to talk my way into, and who I got to exchange resources, who I would tell that, okay, look, I'm good with 1, 2, 3. I could come to your place. This is what I can help you with. And in return, I would need you to find me somebody who can donate to me organs or donate to me bricks so I can finish building the entire space, you know. And through that period alone, there was so much growth in it and skills, essentially, that I think have done me way better as compared to money. So I need resources. I need somebody who can connect me and network me. And that's when I'm going to reach the goal, the ultimate goal.
There we have it, guys. This young man has big dreams. And I'm quite speechless, but what I can say is that I'm inviting anybody who heard the story and they are willing to just do something. As you say, he wants to be connected. It's just like the story in the Bible where Solomon was asked, what do you want? He was asked by God, what do you want? And he was like, I don't want all the riches, I don't want everything, I want wisdom. And that's the kind of thing that the boy wants. He wants somebody to mentor him, somebody to show him the way, and to just help him realize his goal and dreams in life. But as you're thinking about that, there's something very interesting in this guy's book. Look, The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. The Alchemist. The point is, there's many books that are in this guy's book, in this guy's room. And I don't know if he's trying to be fancy or what. Give me a brief. What's this about? What does this do to you? As we close off, what does this do to you? Give me what it does to you in 1 minute.
If you want rapid growth, there's somewhere. I think you need to know your place in the food chain, and by that I mean the place where you feed most out of everything, right? And I figured when I need to relax, I cycle. But when I need to feed myself, I read books. I know everything that's in the books, and also because I'm involved in a lot of youth development agencies. So I can't go there in a one-sided narrative mind. I need to be as broad as possible. I need to be as flexible in terms of thinking. My ability to move from, okay, look, we need to do this, and oh no, let's leave that, we can try that, because you get to deal with kids who go through a lot of different things, from different backgrounds, from different experiences. You can't deal with all of them based on, okay, this is what I'm, and this is the way. So the more the books you read, obviously, the more you get to become better developed, the more you become better at thinking as well. Your ability to move around with your imagination and become creative. So,
personal development.
Yeah, it is that, and I think it's just pure and straightforward.
Chief, at some point, I used to inspire you, but right now you inspire me more. I'm inspired by this young man, and guys, this is a special tribute to the young ones. You pave your own way to success. There's no two ways about it. There's no luck to this thing. You can see this boy is grinding, and the ideas he have, they might not work, but the fact is it's moving. He has taken the responsibility of his own future, his own life, and is making a difference. And is making a huge difference by impacting other people who are socially excluded, giving them skills and giving them better opportunities, giving them a better way to view life. And I think that's very important. How do they get hold of you if they want to get hold of you?
You can get hold of me at my email, mtatus.mafoko@gmail.com, or you can get hold of me again at 076 349 777 7772. Yeah, that's it. On Facebook, I am Tatu Moses Mafokwani, and on Twitter, you find me at T_Mafoko1.
Cool stuff. Chief, invite him for business development sessions, invite him for expos, different kinds of expos. He wants to be better. And thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you, Mikey.
Proud of you. Till we meet again, this is the Miracle Perspective. It's finished.
Miracle Perspective is in the perspective. It's finished.